Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you are ready again to attend the next lecture on ionic equilibrium, and in today's session we'll be discussing about buffer solutions. Now first let us understand what is a buffer solution. Solution which resists to the change in the pH on addition of little quantity of acid or base. It's a solution, it's a combination actually, but here when we are defining, we are just writing solution. A solution that resists to the change in the pH on addition of little quantity. Everything has an importance here. Little quantity of acid or base. Normally acid lowers the pH and the base should increase the pH, because acid is less than 7, this is more than 7. But buffer solutions are those which do not allow the pH to change even on addition of little quantity of acid or base. Now buffer solutions are of two types. They are acidic solutions and basic. So I am first talking about acidic buffer solution. Now what are these acidic buffer solutions? You can remember with the name itself, acidic buffer solutions are normally a combination of weak acid and its salt with the strong base. As whatever is the name, that part is weak acid and its salt with the strong base. Let's take example here, then it will be further clear. Say acetic acid. We know acetic acid is a weak acid and its combination with the strong base means acetic acid's combination with the strong base. Which strong base? Bases are, strong bases are formed by group 1 and group 2 members. That means alkali and alkaline earth metals. So we can have its combination with, say, sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide's base with acetic acid is sodium acetate. So you can have one of this example. Instead of this sodium, we can have potassium, calcium, magnesium, anything. Group 1 or group 2 member. Another example you can have is, say, HCN, KCN. HCN is a weak acid. You can have carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is also a weak acid and its combination with the strong base means this acid's combination with the strong base. We can have other examples like H2S. Hydrogen sulfide is a weak acid. Okay, the weak acid and its combination with the strong base, we can write, say, Na2S. We can have formic acid. Formic acid is also a weak acid and its combination we can take with the strong base. Okay, don't think only sodium. Most of the time I have written sodium. You can have any alkali or alkaline earth metals. Now these are those examples where directly by looking at it you can make out that it is containing a weak acid and a salt with a strong base. That means this is one category. In certain examples you have, let me write here, there are certain examples where you may get the product indirectly. Like for say I am writing HNO3 and say sodium acetate. If I am writing this combination, so you may feel it is not a buffer solution because it is containing nitric acid, which is a strong acid, and this is a salt with the strong base of acetic acid. Now first you think, if this was there then we would have thought, but this is not correct. Then you think what products will be obtained when these two are reacting. When these two are reacting, the product obtained will be, this will be with Na, that means the one product will be now NaNO3 and the other product will be acetic acid. That means one of the product you are getting which with that sodium acetate, these two together, they can form a buffer solution. So this can be considered as a buffer solution provided the concentration of this salt is comparatively more than the nitrate. Because when these two are reacting, the equation is balanced. These both are reacting in 1:1 ratio. For example, if I say 0.1 molar of this is reacting with say 0.4 mole of it, then they will not be reacting completely. Then this is a limiting reagent, this is excess. This should be in excess, because if this is in excess, 0.1 will be reacting with 0.1 only, and the 0.3 of this will be left over. So what you are getting in the product side, we are getting these two left over. This will be the remaining reagent, plus this you are getting as the product also. Okay, so this combination can act as a buffer solution. So these are certain examples where the product is formed which can be considered as a buffer solution with the reactant which is taken over here. Let me give you one more such example. Say acetic acid and NaOH. Now if I take this also doesn't look like a buffer solution because it's a strong base, but this we have seen it is a weak acid, so this can be there. But now let us see what is formed when the two are reacting. When the two are reacting, what will be formed? It will form sodium acetate plus water will be formed, H2O. Right? How do you decide that this is going to be formed? This will ionize as this minus and correct, OH this one and H plus, then Na plus and OH minus. So again you can just write down the crisscross method and you will get the product. Right? So now this acetic acid and the sodium acetate put together can act as a buffer solution. Right? So this can be also considered to be a buffer solution provided this concentration is more. Same way as I told you here, if this is say 0.4 molar and this is say 0.1 molar, then the two will not be reacting completely. This is limiting reagent, will be used up completely. This is excess. So this leftover plus this formed put together can act as a buffer solution. Okay, let's take one more such example. Say NaCN and H2SO4. By looking at it, even this doesn't appear to be a buffer solution, but it is. See, the two will react and it is going to form HCN, one product. The another one is sodium sulfate. Okay, it is forming this product. Okay, now you see this is NaCN and this is HCN. These two together can form a buffer solution. Again, this can act as a buffer solution only if this concentration is more. Concentration of this one should be more than the sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid should have been used completely within the reaction. Okay, so I think till here it is clear. Just see what I told you. First I told you is what is a buffer solution, right? Buffer solution which resists the change in the pH. Then I told you what is acidic buffer solution. Some direct examples I have taken. Then these three examples I will just keep in one frame such that you can note down. This is one example I have taken. This is the second example and this is the third example where they are forming a product which with the one of the reactant can act as a buffer solution. Okay. Yeah, moving on to the working of the acidic buffer solution. Okay, so how the pH is not getting affected, that we will understand by taking a common example of weak acid, that is acetic acid, and its salt with the strong base, that is sodium acetate. This being a weak acid will not ionize completely. This part we know. It is going to form acetate ion plus the H plus ion will be released. Whereas this is a strong comparatively, so it is going to ionize completely and it will result in the formation of acetate ion and Na plus. Whichever is a weak one will be reversible because that is not going to ionize completely. Now let us understand what if we add acid or base, what happens to them, why the pH doesn't get affected. if I add acid to it, okay, to this combination, if suppose we have added acid H plus, so this H plus, when it is added, it is going to react with the available acetate ions. So this is going to react with the acetate ion and it will result in the formation of acetic acid, right? That means what it has done, the acid which we have added externally has reacted with the available acetate ions. From where is acetate ion obtained? From here as well as here. Now this is already increasing because this is a strong electrolyte comparatively, but the first one being reversible. When the concentration of the product increases, apply Le Chatelier's principle. There is a common ion effect even here, right? So because of the increase in the concentration of H plus, that H plus which we have added now will react with the acetate ion which is available. So this is being used up and this is being used up and it is getting converted into the acetic acid. That means it is moving towards left hand side. So equilibrium is getting affected to some extent, but it is forming acetic acid. Acetic acid is itself a weak acid. Even though its concentration is increasing, it is not getting affected to much extent because acetic acid will not dissociate to greater extent. Moreover, when it is getting used up to get converted into the backward, there is a common ion available from here, from the second equation. So this is not going to affect the pH to the greater extent. Okay, so first I'll just repeat this part. H plus we have added. So this is not this H plus I have written. This is the external H plus when we add. If we add the external H plus, then that is going to react with the acetate ion, means concentration of the product decreases. When the product concentration decreases, the equilibrium will shift in the backward direction and it will result in the formation of acetic acid. Acetic acid itself is a weak electrolyte, will not affect much, it will not dissociate to greater extent. Moreover, it is getting used up, no problem, there is already extra acetate, enough acetate ion available. So this is not going to change the pH. What if we add base, that is OH minus? If we add OH minus, it will react with the available H plus ion. It will react with the H plus, that means it is going to form water. It will form water. Right? Yes. So the product is removed. This H plus concentration is removed. H plus concentration is removed means this equilibrium will shift in the forward direction so as to increase the concentration of the acetate ion. The H plus ion, so as to maintain the equilibrium. But even then, it is forming water or acetic acid. Both the products formed are neutral. This is weak acid, will not affect. This is neutral, will not affect the pH. So the working says that whether you add acid or you add base, the pH will not be affected. Okay, this is about the working of the acidic buffer solution. We will also talk about the pH of the acidic buffer solution. About the basic buffer solutions we will take in the next video, otherwise it will become very lengthy for you. Okay, so pH of acidic buffer solution we are taking. Now again, let me take one particular example which I have been taking every time, acetic acid and sodium acetate example. So let us ionize this, and this also is this is sodium acetate. It will ionize completely and it will result in the formation of acetate ion and Na plus. Okay. Now our issue is we want to get a relation for the pH of the acidic buffer solution. Now first thing is this equation, which is a reversible equation. Let us apply law of mass action. I've already spoken about the law of mass action in the previous videos of chemical equilibrium. I hope you have watched that. So let's apply that. So this is talking about the dissociation of acid. Means we can write down Ka, that is dissociation constant of acid, that is equal to the concentration of the product, that is this, multiplied by concentration of H plus divided by concentration of acetic acid, CH3COOH. right? So you got that Ka value first. Now this Ka value now will help us in finding out, the pH formula. So what we will do is, we know, let us write down separately what is pH formula. We have learned earlier, pH is equal to minus log of H plus concentration. Okay, so that means we need from here, what is H plus? We need H plus. So what is H plus from here? We can write Ka multiplied by, instead of acetic acid, we can write acid, because any buffer can be taken, not necessarily always acetic acid. We can take any weak acid. So whatever buffer we have taken, in that whatever is a weak acid, its concentration, divided by, so this we are writing, divided by concentration of acetate ion. Now just see this is quite important. This acetate ion we have written with reference to the first, though this acetate ion is also available, and we know the more concentration of the acetate ion we are not getting from the first equation, we are getting from the second equation, because this is strong electrolyte, so this is ionizing to the greater extent. So we are getting this concentration mainly from the salt, because if this is 1 molar, this also form will be 1 molar. So in a way, instead of acetate ion concentration, we can also write down the concentration of salt. Okay, I hope this is clear. H plus concentration we were finding, this is equal to acid concentration into Ka concentration divided by this. So this I just wrote, instead of acetic acid, acid concentration, instead of acetate ion I wrote salt, because I told you this acetate ion is mainly obtained from this sodium acetate salt. Okay, because it is a strong electrolyte, it is ionizing completely, so whatever concentration of this you are getting here is mainly from here. Whereas in the first equation we have that acetate, and that acetate ion formed is also reacting with H plus and going for the reversible reaction, that is backward reaction. Now we will apply this H plus in this, we'll put the value over here. So what we will get, let me write with the same color now. pH is equal to minus log Ka, right? We can write down the whole thing together, minus log this acid upon salt concentration. That means first I am doing is, I am just putting the whole thing together. Now I will open this bracket. So what if we open the bracket now, it is pH is equal to minus log of Ka minus log of concentration of acid divided by concentration of salt. Okay, so this is one formula which we got it, pH is equal to minus log Ka minus log concentration of acid divided by salt. Okay, now another thing is, instead of this minus log Ka, we can also write it as pH, like we wrote pH is equal to minus log H plus. Minus log Ka can be written as pKa. And in case we want to make this positive, what we will do is, we will take it as positive, but we will just exchange it and write this as concentration of salt divided by the concentration of acid. Did you follow that? Just please go through it once again. pH is equal to minus log H plus. So that H plus value from here we wrote this side. We opened this bracket, that log will be with K as well as with this. So minus log K minus log of acid by salt. Now instead of minus log K, I have written as pK, and this I made it as plus, so I have just reversed it. This equation is the equation for the pH of acidic buffer solution, and this equation is also called as Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. Okay, so now from here you can just make a note, pH of acidic buffer solution. This is the complete derivation. I think this is there in one frame. You can note down. Fine. The numericals we will take after taking the basic buffer. So this, in today's session I have just completed what is a buffer solution, the type of buffer solution. I've taken only one type so far, acidic buffer solution, working, its pH. In the next video, I will be talking about the basic buffer, working, and the pH of the basic buffer, and followed by another video on the numericals of the buffer solutions. Okay, so please practice till then. Thank you for watching.